Hello everyone, welcome to this follow-along episode of Sudoku. This episode focuses on beginner strategies, so let's go ahead and solve an easy level Sudoku puzzle together. Here is an easy puzzle from the New York Times online game page. In this episode, I show you a very simple beginner's method for solving a puzzle. We will start by moving across the ranks horizontally, first with the top rank, or top horizontal group of blocks, then the next rank, the middle rank, and then the bottom rank, or bottom group of horizontal blocks. What we do is search in each group of horizontal blocks for the numbers 1 through 9. If the number appears twice, it's usually very simple to figure out where it should be placed. Whichever block is missing a number is the block that it will fit into, and whichever row is missing a number, then it is in that row that the number belongs. So let's take a look at our first puzzle together. Now we start with our horizontal blocks. These are called ranks, the top rank, the middle rank, and the bottom rank. So let's start with the top rank, and we have here the number 1 appears only once, so we're going to look for numbers 1 through 9 that appear 2 times. So we have 1 appears once, 2 appears only once, 3. Okay, so 3 appears 2 times. We have the number 3 here in this block. We have the number 3 here in this block. So therefore there must be a 3 in this block. It can't be in this row because there's already a 3 in this row. It can't be in this row because there's already a 3 in this row. Therefore the 3 must be in this cell. And so let's put the number 3 there. Okay, number 4 appears twice. 1, 2. Remember, we're looking just across this horizontal group of blocks, the top rank. So we have a 4 in this block. We have a 4 in this block. Therefore, there must be a 4 in this block. It can't be in this top row, and it can't be in the bottom row, because we already have a 4 in the bottom and a 4 in the top. So it must be here in the middle, and this is the only cell that is open for it. So we've now solved the 3, and we have solved the 4. Number 5 appears only one time. Number 6 appears twice. We have a 6 in this block. We have a 6 in this block. So we're looking for a 6 in the third block, and it can only go in the bottom row. It can go here, here, or here. And we actually can't eliminate it because in the columns there are no 6s. So it can really go in any of those 3 cells. So I'm going to change this to candidate mode. Put a 6 here, put a 6 here, and put a 6 in this cell. So those are the only 3 cells that it can go in. Alright, now number 7 doesn't appear in this horizontal block. Number 8 appears one time. And then we have number 9. Number 9 appears twice, 1, 2. So it appears in the first block, it appears in the second block, therefore it has to appear in the third block. Now it can't go in this row, and nothing more can go in this row. It can only go here or here, right? Because in this bottom row, we already have a 9 in this row. So it can only go in the top row in this block. It can go in this cell, or it could go in this cell, but if we look down here, we see there's already a number 9 in this column. So the only place the number 9 can go is in this cell. So let me change this to fill mode and put the number 9 in this cell. Okay, so now we've gone through the numbers 1 through 9. Before we move on to the second group of horizontal blocks, I want to show you something here. We have a segment that is completely filled in this block. That means that that eliminates any other numbers that we might want to try to place in this block. So for example, the number 2 only appears once in this horizontal group. So normally we'd say we can't really figure out where it goes. But we know for sure, we know for certain that the number 2 cannot be in this top row here because they're already filled in. So that eliminates the top row. So in this block, there has to be a number 2 in this block because all the numbers have to be in each block. There's no number 2 in this block, and it can't go here because we already have a 2 in this row. So it must go either here or here or here. And it can't go in this cell because there is already a 2 in this column. So I can eliminate that, and I can eliminate this cell. So really, even though the number 2 only appears one time, I can, through elimination, figure out that it can only go here or here. It can't go here because we already have a number 2 in this column. And now I can move on to this block, and I see the number 2 is missing from this block. It can't go here, right, because there's already a 2 in this row. It can't go in this middle row because there is no space for it. So the only place it can go really is right here. So you can see that even when a number only appears one time, you can sometimes figure out where it might go when a whole segment is filled in already. Let's try the number 1. Okay, the number 1 only appears one time in this horizontal group, right? It has to be here one time, and it has to appear here one time. So we need a 1 in this block, a 1 in this block, and we already have a 1 here. So let's take a look at this block and say, well, it can't go anywhere in this column because there's already a 1, right? And it can't go in this cell because in this row there's already a 1. So we've eliminated this cell because in this row there's a 1. We've eliminated these 2 cells because in this column there's a 1. So the only place in this block left for the 1 to go is right here in that cell. And now we can move to this block. There cannot be a 1 in this row. First of all, because it's already filled in, and second, because we already just put a 1 here. There cannot be a 1 in this row because there is already a 1 here. So now we know that the number 1 must go here. Let's look a little further at this top rank. We already went through the numbers 1 through 9 one time. Let's do it one more time and see how much more we can fill in, if there's anything else we can fill in. So we have the numbers 1. We have the number 2 here and here, and we figured out that it can go in either of these cells. We have 3 number 3s. We have 3 number 4s. Now let's take a look at the number 5. All right, number 5, we skipped over it before because it only appears once. We know it has to appear in this block, and it has to appear in this block. Now let's see if we can eliminate it from this block, and we can. There are 3 cells left in this block, right? But this cell and this cell are in the same column, and there's already a number 5 in this column. So the only cell left in this block is the middle cell, and so we know that's the only place for the 5 to go. Now let's take a look over here in the bottom row. Here we don't have the same luck. The number 5 can be in this cell, or this cell, or this cell. There is no way to eliminate it. So I'm going to put it into candidate mode, put the number 5 there as a candidate, and a 5 there, and a 5 there. Number 6, we already eliminated all the other possibilities. Number 6 can fit into any of these 3 cells. Number 7, all right, well, let's take a look at the number 7. This block needs a number 7, right? It has to have all the numbers 1 through 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The number 7 has to go someplace in this block. Well, all the cells are filled up except for the last 3, the bottom 3. So it can go in any of those 3, but it really can't, because in this column we already have a 7. In this column we already have a 7. So the 7 must go in this cell. And so now this is either a 5 or a 6, and this cell is either a 5 or a 6. Because one of these is a 5 and one of these is a 6, we now can figure out what number is missing over here. All we do is look at this as a row. Look at this as a row. And if you look across this row, you'll see what's missing. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 and 6 are going to go here. 7, 8. 8 is missing. So we know 8 has to go in this cell. So the number 8 is missing, and then we have 9. So all the numbers 1 through 9 are accounted for in this row. We just don't know where the 5 or the 6 is going to go, either here or here. Okay, and now this block is filled in almost completely. There's one number missing here, and let's see what it is just by counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The number 7 is missing. So we fill in the number 7 there. All right, now let's move on to this block here. Let's see if we can fill in any of the other numbers. Now that we filled in the number 7 here, we have two 7s. We have a 7 here and a 7 here. The number 7 has to fit in this block. It must be in one of these cells. It can't be in this cell, right? Because this has already a 7 in this column. It can't be in this cell because there's a 7 down here in this column. So the only place for the number 7 to go is in this cell. So we can put the number 7 there. And since we put the number 7 there, this has to be where the number 2 goes. You see, it can't go in this cell because there is a 2. We eliminated that previously. So the number 2 must go there. And now we have an entire block filled in except for one cell. That's easy to figure out. We just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The number 8 is missing. So now we've worked on the top rank and we filled in almost every single cell except for these two cells here, the 5 and the 6. Now we're ready to work on the middle rank, and this is the middle group of horizontal blocks. And let's start again methodically with the number 1. The number 1 appears 3 times. Number 2 doesn't appear at all. We know there's going to be a 2 here, and there's going to be a 2 here, and there's going to be a 2 here. Well, let's take a look at this. Since we're doing so great here, the number 2 is going to be in one of these cells, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, one of these 5 cells. Well, it can't be in these 2 cells because there's a 2 already in this column. Can't be in these 2 cells because there's a 2 already in this column. So the number 2 has to go in this cell. So we have the number 2 here. Can we figure out where the number 2 goes here? Let's see, there's a 2 in this column, so it can't go here. Otherwise, it can go, it can't go in either of these cells because in this row there's a 2. So the only place a 2 can go in this block is here and here. Okay? The number 2 cannot go in these 2 cells because there's already a 2 in this row. And the number 2 can't go in this cell because there's already a 2 in that column. Let's see if we can eliminate the number 2 from this block. We can eliminate it from this cell because this column has a 2. We can eliminate it from this row because there's a 2 here. So there can be a 2 actually in this cell, and there can be a 2 in this cell. And those are the only 2 places in this block that a number 2 can be. All right, so we did the number 2, number 1, number 2, number 3. Number 3 appears in this block in the bottom row. Number 3 appears in this block in the middle row. So number 3 has to appear in this block, and the only place it can go is in the top row, because in the middle row there's a 3, in the bottom row there's a 3. So for this block, the only place the number 3 can go is here. Now I'm going to place the number 3 here, but look what happens. A minute ago, we figured out that the number 2 either goes here or here. Well, if we put the number 3 here, then automatically we know that the number 2 has to go here. So I can fill in the number 3 here, and I can fill in the number 2 here, and now I have almost this entire block filled. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, the number 5 is missing. All right, we just filled in the number 3, right? So let's go with the number 4. We have a number 4 here in this block. We don't have a number 4 in this block. There is a number 4 in this column, and there is a number 4 in this row. So the only place a number 4 can go is in this cell. Okay, think about that very carefully. The number 4 has to go in this block, right? Because there is no 4 here. It can't go in either of these 2 cells in the top row because the row already has a 4. It can't go in either of these 2 cells because this column has already a number 4. So the only place the 4 can go is in that cell. So now we have a 4 in this block. We have a 4 in this block. Now we need a number 4 in this block. It can't be in the top row because there's already a 4 there. It can't be in the middle row because there is already a 4 there. So the only place it can go is in the bottom row, and there's only one cell remaining, and so the number 4 goes there. All right, let's move on to the number 5. Now there is no number 5 here at all. But let's see through a process of elimination if we can figure out where the number 5 would go in this block. Well, there are 3 cells, and in this column we already have the number 5. So this cell and this cell are eliminated. So the only remaining cell the number 5 can go is right there. Let's move to this block. All right, since we put a 5 in this row, there cannot be a 5 here in this row. There cannot be a 5 in this column. So the only place a 5 can go is in this cell or in this cell, but if we look down, we see there's a 5 here. So the only place the number 5 can go in this block is here. Now let's move over to this block and see if we can place the number 5 someplace. Well, the number 5 cannot go in the top row because it's already filled, and anyway there's a number 5 here. It can't go in the middle row because there's a number 5 already in this row, so it must be in the bottom row, right? Top row, middle row, bottom row, so it must be in the bottom row, and the bottom row there's only one cell remaining, so the number 5 goes there. Okay, let's look for the number 6. We have the number 6 here and the number 6 here, therefore the number 6 must go here. Now I did that a little fast, but let me backtrack and explain. Number 6 is in the bottom here in this block. Number 6 is in the top here in this block. If it's in the top and the bottom, then the only place is missing is in the middle. And if it's in this block and if it's in this block, the only block it's missing from is this block. So the block that doesn't have a 6 is where it goes, and the row that doesn't have a 6 is where it goes, and that's the only cell it can go into, so the number 6 goes there. So now this entire block is completed. Now I'm going to backtrack again. Take a look. Once I filled in the number 6 here, I can look up and see that I can eliminate the number 6 from this cell, because you can't have a 6 repeat itself twice in the same column. So if this is not a 6, let me take away the 6, then this cannot be a 5. And so now we know that this cell is a 5, and this cell has to be the number 6. And so now the entire top rank is completed. Now let's go back to the middle rank. We did the number 6, right? We have that 3 times. Now let's take a look at the number 7. So the number 7 appears once in this block, and it appears once in this block. That means this middle block here doesn't have the number 7. And let's figure out where it would go. I can see it. Can you see it? All right, the number 7 is here in this row, so it can't go in this cell. The number 7 here is in this bottom row, so it can't go in this cell. So the only place the number 7 can go is in this middle cell here. All right. If we were looking vertically, we would also eliminate it because there was a 7 in this column and a 7 in this column. Okay, move on to the number 8. Moving on to the number 8, there's only one 8. Now normally that's not enough to help us, but in easy puzzles it's very easy to figure out where the 8 goes. Let's look in this block. The 8 can go either in this cell or in this cell. There are only 2 cells left, but we can eliminate it from this cell because there is already an 8 here. And so now let's get rid of that 8. We previously figured it was either a 2 or an 8. Now we know for sure that the 8 goes in this cell, and therefore the 2 must go in this cell. And so now we have completed this entire block. We have one more block left, and we have one more number left, and that's the number 9. We have a number 9 here in the top row. We have a number 9 here in the bottom row. Therefore, the number 9 in this block must be in the middle row, right? Because the top row already has a 9, the bottom row already has a 9. So the only place the 9 can go is in the middle row, and so we have the number 9 here. Now let's see if we can figure out what cell is remaining here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the number 8. And so now we have all of these cells filled in the middle rank. All right, see how few cells are down here, but this is now much easier to fill in because we have all of these numbers on top in each column filled in. So working horizontally, let's start with the number 1. Number 1 is in this block, and number 1 is in this block. Therefore, there must be a 1 in this middle block. There's a 1 in the top row. There's a 1 in the bottom row. So therefore, the 1 has to be in the middle row. Okay, that was easy. Let's move to number 2. Number 2 is in this middle row, so we know it can't be in any of these numbers, and it can't be any of these numbers. So in this block, the number 2 can either go here, here, or here. Well, look up this column and you'll see that there's a number 2 in this column. So that eliminates right away these 2 cells, and so the only place the number 2 can go is right over there. So now we took care of this block, and now this block needs the number 2. And again, the number 2 cannot be in this row. Anyway, it's already filled. It cannot be in this row because we already have a number 2. So the only place the number 2 can be is in one of these 3 cells. If you look up, you see there's a 2 in this column, so it can't be this cell. There's a number 2 in this column, so it can't be in this cell. So the only place that the number 2 can be in this block is in this cell here. One more time. These 3 cells are eliminated because there's already a 2 in this row. And these 2 cells are eliminated because there's a 2 in each of these columns. So the only place the number 2 can go is right there. Okay, number 3. We have one number 3. And normally that's not enough to work with, but with an easy puzzle, it's very easy to figure this out. The number 3 is already in this middle row. So if we are working, let's say in this block, we need a number 3 in this block. It can't be in any of these cells, so it must be in either this cell or this cell. It must be in the bottom row. And of course it can't be this cell because there is already a 3 in this column. So then the number 3 must be in this cell. Well, now we have a number 3 in this block and a number 3 in this block, so we have to figure out where the number 3 goes in this block. It can't be in this row because there is a number 3 already in this row. It can't be in this row because there is already a number 3 in this row. So it has to be in the top row. And it's either this cell or this cell. Well, right on top of this cell is a number 3 in that column. So the only place the number 3 can go is right over there. Okay, number 4. There is no number 4 at all. Shall we give it a shot? Let's see if we can figure out where the number 4 goes. Well, let's start with this block. It can't be in this column because there is already a number 4. It can't be in this column because there is already a number 4. So it's either in this cell or this cell. And you know what? I'm going to put it there as a candidate. Okay, let's move to this block. Can we have a number 4 in this column? No, it's already filled. It's already filled. The only 2 cells that are remaining is this cell and this cell. So let's put that as a candidate, number 4 and the number 4. And now let's move here and see if we can figure out where the number 4 would go. Well, this block is a lot easier. There are 3 cells, and it can't be in these 2 because this column already has a 4. So the only place a 4 can go is in this cell, number 4. Okay, well, if a 4 is here, that eliminates this 4 here. And if we eliminate this 4 here, then the only place a 4 can go in this block is right here. Now that eliminates this 4 here because there is already a 4 in this row. So let's eliminate that. And now the only place a 4 can go in this block is right here. And so now we've taken care of the number 4. Let's move on to the number 5. Number 5 is in this block. We need a number 5 in this block and in this block. Well, in this block it's very easy. There are only 2 cells left, and it can't be in this cell because there is already a 5 in this row. So the number 5 must go here. And now we have filled in this block except for one number. Whenever there's just one number left, it's very easy. You just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The number 8 is missing, so that goes there. Okay, back to the number 5. We have a number 5 here, number 5 here. Therefore, there must be a 5 in the middle row. Anyway, there's only the middle row left. It can't go in this cell because there's a 5 in that column. It can't go in this cell because there's a 5 in that column. So the only place the 5 can go is right over there. All right, then we have the number 6 in this bottom row. We have a number 6 in this top row. So top, bottom, therefore the middle is where the number 6 must go. It can't go here because there is a number 6 here. So the only place the number 6 can go is here. And so now we have one block left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The number 8 is missing. And one block here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And number 8 is missing. By the way, the New York Times keeps bold the numbers that have not yet been filled. Once you filled in all of a certain number, all of a digit, then it unbolds itself. So since the number 8 is the only one that is still left bold, we know that it has to be the number 8. But not all programs do that, so sometimes you have to count. Number 8. And congratulations, you've solved today's easy puzzle. I hope you enjoyed this, and thanks for following along with me.